Hello, beautiful people. Today is day 4 of Lent 2024, and I want to talk about today letting go of complaining or listening to a constant complainer and how that can affect your health. Stanford University did a study and showed that listening to a complainer or complaining for 30 minutes a day damage the hippocampus of the brain. And the hippocampus of the brain is the part of the brain that helps us create new memories and helps us with learning. So if you're struggling to remember things and you feel like your memory is slipping or you just can't seem to learn new things, well, then think about, when are you exposed to complaining? Are you complaining? Are you listening to someone who's complaining? And if so, we need to get off of that vicious loop, because what happens when we complain is that we see more things to complain about. And when we complain enough and we damage our hippocampus, we can't make good decisions, we don't learn from our mistakes, and we can't form new memories, then we have more things to complain about, which then creates more problems in our life, and all this negativity is a vicious cycle, and it's very addictive to be on that loop. And you probably know that if you've ever hung out with somebody who is a constant complainer and you try to get them to change the subject or look on the bright side or find a solution, or God forbid you offer a solution because it is not what they're looking for, you know that that just puts fuel on the fire of their complaining, because they can tell you all of the reasons why none of that is going to work for them. So if you are the complainer, how can you get off of this negativity cycle? Because when you're that negative, it's very difficult for you to be creative, for you to feel gratitude, and to be loving and be present in your life for all the fun things and for the people that are important to you. So how can you do it? Well, one is to create a gratitude practice. And, we've probably all done that. I know I certainly have. Make a list of all things I'm grateful for, and then try to feel grateful for those things. Well, according to Andrew Huberman of Huberman Labs, and Andrew Huberman, if you've never heard of him, has an amazing podcast. And he goes deep into the science of neurology. He is an ophthalmology and neurology professor at Stanford. And he says in one of his podcasts, the most effective gratitude practice isn't making a list of all the things you're grateful for and then trying to feel grateful for them, because that's very difficult to do when you're stuck in this negative loop. It's instead to think of a time where you did something and somebody thanked you for it. Like they came up to you, they either wrote you a letter, wrote you a good review, or they just thanked you in person for something you did. That to remember that story. What is it you did for that person, and how did it happen that you got the gratitude, from that person to you when they thanked you? What was that story? How did they say it? Go over that and over that and over again. And his studies showed that reduced inflammation in the body. And what is inflammation? Well, inflammation and oxidative stress, which is a result of too much cortisol in the body, so being stressed out by all these negative emotions, and inflammation from not being grateful. So when we're grateful, it reduces inflammatory markers, and inflammation can cause chronic disease. Chronic diseases are things like heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, depression, Parkinson's, autoimmune disorders, arthritis. All of these things are inflammatory diseases. And so by doing appropriate gratitude practices will lower inflammation in the body, and so you can feel better with less inflammation, and you'll be able to think better and make new memories and learn new things and be more pleasant for the people that are around you. And then what do you do if you're stuck with someone who is a constant complainer, either at work or at home? What can you do to protect yourself? Because you do need to set boundaries and not be a nice person all the time and sit there and listen to that if it's making you feel stressed out. And know that the 30 minutes a day of complaining or listening to complaints damages your hippocampus. So you have to protect yourself. And so you can either try to redirect them And if that doesn't work, then it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a break from someone you love to protect yourself. Walk in the other room, take a walk, whatever it takes. And if there's someone at work, well, then you can just politely, kindly, spend less time with that person and see if that doesn't make you feel better. Okay, that's it for today. Take care. See y'all tomorrow.